Hey there, Virgo Libra, welcome to your reading. So today we are going to take a look at your past life. We are going to see how who you were and how it is affecting you now, okay? So keep in mind this is a general reading, and the past life that is going to show up is the most relevant for you at this moment, and this is not going to resonate with everyone, okay? So definitely check out your individual elements if this one doesn't resonate, and don't forget to smash like button if it does, and to subscribe if you haven't already. For private readings, the link is going to be down below. And there is also, we have a 5-year journal in case you're interested in that. Those are too many. Well, but I guess we're supposed to take them. But in case you're interested in a 5-year journal, the link is going to be down below. We just launched that. So yeah, let's get started here with your reading. We're going to start with some important places or times. For you, I actually feel like we only have time. So, oh, this is interesting. We have Byzantine time, and then we have way forward with World War II. So I almost feel like these past lives are kind of correlated. So you could have had like a past life during the Byzantine time, Byzantine Empire, and then you had another past life in World War II, and somehow they are correlated. Maybe they are very similar lives, but let's see what shows up and how that plays out. So starting off with some traits, we have air. So you could have been an air sign. We actually also have here cold. So that actually makes a lot of sense. We also have here, I actually feel like here during Byzantine Empire, you actually lived really shortly. But yeah, so we also have money. So I guess you were pretty good on that aspect. Honesty and loyalty. We have attitude. Look at that, tattoos and piercings. Ooh, we have kinky. Early bird, 20 to 25. There we go. Possibly that was the age that you died. And we also have bookworm. And I would even say that when you died here, you were not able to fulfill your purpose, your lesson. You weren't able to really do a lot of stuff. And that's why I feel like you have those two dates, is because that World War II past life is a continuation of what you couldn't do there before. But here, with what we already have from your traits, I feel like you were pretty smart, I feel. And I feel like you were charming, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if you were a dude, because I feel like ladies were just like around the corner, and they were always like fainting around you, and they just wanted you, you know? I actually feel like I'm curious to see here around your relationships, because I feel like you may have either not been romantically involved with anyone, or it took a little bit for you to be romantically involved with someone. Because I feel like you could have had a little bit of fear of commitment, and so you were a little bit avoidant of love. It could have come from your family. We're going to see that as well. But I do feel like you were a very hard worker. I'm actually picking up on strong Capricorn energy, so you could have actually been like a Capricorn Aquarius cusp. And it's like career was the most important thing for you. And I feel like because of it, the other people, you would always push them away a little bit, and not give a lot of attention to that side of your life, okay? But I mean, honestly, in loyalty, I do feel like family was really important for you, I feel. But it's like the family that you grew up in, and your friends, you were super loyal to them. But when it came to building your own family, you probably had a little bit of a trouble with it. And it could be something related with that past life. Maybe that was something that you didn't really, I mean, you died pretty young, so you possibly didn't really do anything in that Byzantine Empire past life. But I really feel that this World War II past life was sort of a continuation of that cycle, and you couldn't really break it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was your struggle, your challenge, your lesson in this lifetime for you to break. But let's pull here some tarot to see what we have for you. What do we have? What do we have for my Virgo Libras? Ooh, come here. All right, so let's see here. So yeah, look at that. King of Pentacles, you were a dude. This is this is symbolizing your gender on that past life. So you were definitely a male. And again, I kind of feel like you did have your needs met. You did have your needs met. And yeah, 100%. So who you were, let's get started there. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like we're pretty adventurous. Honestly, I feel like you kind of liked to take risks. I feel like you were pretty bold, to be honest. And I do feel like it was only about risks in career and risks around money, because I feel like you would study. I feel like you would really be able to understand, okay, so this is what is going on. You know, your investments were really wise, and you would always like pay attention to your surroundings. You would always pay attention to how people were talking about that business or about that investment, and what was the word going around, and how do you actually deal with that. You know, if you were going to, I don't know, you were dealing with books, I don't know, your main business was books, and then you wanted to do an investment in mining, you would go and read books about mining for you to be able to understand. You know, you were always trying to figure out stuff around your investments and how to better yourself. I feel like that was also something. I also feel like you would not let yourself be down for like just any little thing. I feel like you were really strong. And I feel like that is actually why this Eight of Cups is here in your accomplishments and what is supporting you in this lifetime. That is, I feel like anything that was not good for you, anything that wasn't working, you would always be able to, okay, not working, let's move forward. I don't care, you know? And I feel like that was something so good of you, because you never really got, one thing that I do feel like was your struggle, especially with the King of Swords here in your struggles, is that I feel like you maybe didn't really feel your emotions. And so the grief process, you know, because when something ends, we kind of have to go through some period of grief. Even if it was something good, even if it was something bad, it doesn't matter. Even if it was something really small, we have this thing of like, we should go through that process of grief. Like, okay, so this was part of my life, it's not anymore. But I feel like you were just like, okay, let's keep walking. Let's keep moving into the next direction, moving into the next big thing. And I feel like you never really got the time to feel your emotions and to be vulnerable with yourself. It's not even about other people, that is part of it too, but I really feel like it's about being vulnerable with yourself. And I feel like your emotions were always a little bit hidden, and you never really got to open up that space. But that was a beautiful thing, is that you were always moving forward, and you would not, nothing would bring you down easily, you know? So let's get here a couple more cards. All right, so we have isolation. Ooh, we love this mysticism. And this is giving me actually some vibes around your career, is that I feel like you may have been like an anonymous investor, something like that. It's like, I feel like you made your investments really private, but that was actually pretty good because we were full of it. You were full of money when it came to your career. But I feel like you had, first of all, a very good eye for opportunities, and it's like you knew who to trust when it came to career, and you knew who not to trust. But whoever you would trust in your career, you were so loyal to them. You know, it was that person and that person forever, because you really created some sort of bond. I would even say that it's like the first sort of deal or business or, I don't know, project that you would have with them. With a certain person, it was the project that would kind of set the tone for the rest of the friendship. You know, you would really be able to understand, okay, I feel like you were pretty intuitive. You know, I feel like you were pretty, you knew how to read people. And so however people acted with you and with the project, with the investment on that first instant, it would tell you everything that you needed to know. And that was a pretty big skill that you had. We also have here isolation and rejection. However, I feel like your trust was not very easily earned. It's like people really had to make some effort to do that. And I almost feel like you may have been a little bit of, I don't know, maybe you were cast aside a little bit, and that is definitely showing up here in your family. You may have actually ran from home. That is something that is coming through. But I feel like you were always pretty isolated, and I don't think that you made friends that easily. Your friends, I feel like, were created through career, And it's that thing. It took a little bit for you to trust them. And the thing is, I don't think that you minded your isolation that much, because I feel like you were used to being left alone. You were used to having to walk away from a certain situation. So for you, it was okay, right? And even with this rejection, there's this thing of like, there are all these people like kind of whispering in your ear and trying to not necessarily sabotage you, but I almost see this as like the different sources of information that you had, and you were really wondering like, oh, okay, so this person is saying this, but is it really true? It's like you didn't really take a truth for granted. It's like, this is this person's version, so let me go and see this other person's version, or let me go and see what the books actually have to say about it, and what the facts are. How is this business doing? And I feel like you were very impartial. That is also something. I feel like you were very impartial, and you had your own mind. It's like no one would be able to convince you. It was either your beliefs, your thoughts, or no one would be able to input their beliefs in you. So let's talk about here, career. We have that Ten of Pentacles. So again, you were pretty well off financially. We also have discernment. Wow, why am I not surprised to see that one? And we also have release. Beautiful. So with that discernment, there's again that thing. You had a really good eye for business. And also this thing of like walking away. It's like you knew when to walk away from a certain business, from a certain investment. You knew when to take your money out. So I would even say that because this was so good in your past life, and that was actually an accomplishment that is supporting you now, if you feel called to do some sort of investment in your life, investment in your career, investment in, I don't know, stocks, shares, stuff like that, I feel like you would actually be pretty successful in it, and trust your instincts because they're natural. Maybe start small, so you can kind of tune into them, and so you can kind of feel the field and develop that skill. Remember that skill. It's not even about developing it. It's about remembering it. Start small, but then I feel like you start getting it, and I feel like you can go pretty damn far. So if you've been thinking about investing in something, definitely do so, okay? Even if it's just an investment in your own personal career or in your own personal life and lifestyle, that is definitely like green light, go ahead, okay? But continuing here, talking about your past life career, I feel like there is this thing of you didn't really get, you had a lot of money, but I don't think you got attached to it too much. I don't actually think that you were, very materialistic. It's like you had your stuff, but it's like, okay, who the heck cares about that? And so I actually feel like you could have donated a lot and do a lot of like charity work. I feel like you actually helped a lot of people. Possibly you helped a lot of your community where you grew up in. And my goodness, I'm channeling so much. I'm having hiccups. And I feel like you helped your community a lot because like here, you have all of these kids. Like, yeah, you helped your family. I feel like your family in this case was more around friends. But you also helped the community around you. So I feel like you were pretty generous when it came to that. And it's so interesting because you didn't really trust easily, right? So it's like you didn't trust, but at the same time, you were a kind soul. So you were just like, well, but people kind of need my help, So I feel like you helped them a lot. Getting here into your relationships, let's get started with love. We have the Two of Pentacles, and so there is this thing that it's what I was talking about. I feel like for the longest time, I would even say like only in the last years of your life, you really allowed yourself to love, allowed yourself to build something. I don't think you built a family. I don't think you had children, but I do think that you allowed yourself to be with someone, to just be loved and love. And I feel like for the rest of it, you were really hesitant. I really feel like you had fear of commitment, possibly fear of being vulnerable, And that is still something that is showing up here with this King of Swords, okay? So if you have some sort of trouble with vulnerability, with commitment and opening your heart to love, maybe that is something to look into and to reflect a little bit on, because that is a cycle that wants to be broken. That is a cycle that wants to be healed for you to be able to reach your fullest potential. And I do feel like there was someone here really kind, and honestly, I feel like this attitude was even, you could have had an attitude, but I feel like this person also had an attitude, and so I feel like it started as a challenge. I feel like it started as like, bro, you annoy the heck out of me, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna break it, you know, and I'm gonna break that wall. And I feel like you eventually did, but it's like it started as it's the haters to lovers trope kind of vibe. And I feel like you, in the end, you were like all over each other and you couldn't get enough. But I do feel like this person was quite determined in their beliefs, let's call it. I feel like they were pretty stubborn. But we have here affection and determination. This one also wanted to come out, blissful pleasure. And at the bottom of the deck, we have destiny. So I really feel like that was a beautiful soulmate. And it was happening all in divine timing, but I feel like you didn't really got to experience all the things that you were supposed to experience together, because because it took so long for things to actually go somewhere, you know. And I do feel like in this past life, in the Byzantine Empire, you possibly died pretty young. But I feel like here in the World War II time period, I do feel like you also died pretty young. Maybe a little bit older, but I feel like you was still young, and you couldn't really, you couldn't really fulfill every single wish that you had. And one of them, I do feel like it was family. And maybe that is something that you're supposed to build now if you wish to do so. I don't really feel like it's about the building family. I don't think it's about having children. I feel like it's about opening your heart and raising your vibration to opening your heart and feel that love energy coming in, you know. And I guess that's it. But with this blissful pleasure, one thing that is coming through is that I actually feel like you both were pretty sexually compatible, and so there was a lot of passion, there was a lot of attraction, and it's like the worst part in the beginning was trying to control that passion, trying to control that attraction, because you supposedly hated one another, and it came to this point where you couldn't anymore, you know. But let's talk here about family. So we have the Seven of Swords. I feel like, again, you could have walked away from home pretty soon. Thankfulness for understanding. And the quote that actually comes with it is, before we can forgive one another, we have to understand one another. And I feel like that was always one of the struggles with this family that you grew up in, is that I feel like they didn't understand you for who you were. And I feel like they could have been a little bit toxic. They could have been a little bit, I don't know, trying to manipulate you. Like this iris with rainbows and messages is giving me this vibe of like manipulation and trying to, trying to make your mind and like, oh, but that person is really bad. Oh, but this career is not for you. Oh, you should do this and you should be this. And I feel like they never really allowed you to be who you are. I don't think you held any grudges, because with that, like thankfulness for understanding, before you can forgive one another, you have to understand one another. I feel like you understood them, and I feel like you understood them to some point, and in the end, you forgave them, I feel. But you could never go back there. And so I feel like maybe more towards the end of your life, maybe you started communication again, but I feel like it was very light, and it was very like, I'm not sure if I really want to do this, you know. Maybe it's even because of this person. Maybe your partner kind of wanted to, was kind of trying to convince you like, hey, but it's family, come on, just give it a shot. And I think you kind of gave in a little bit, but I don't think it was enough. And I really don't think that you really wanted. So yeah, I do feel like you got out of your home really soon, very young, and you had to make a living for yourself. And it's like, I even feel like what you've learned during those first periods, during those first years, those first months, outside on your own was really important for your development in your career. It's like you had so much experience by the time other people were starting that it was like, bro, you were the best, you know? So talking here about friendships, we have the beautiful Three of Pentacles, and we have, oh, this is so cute. We have love at first sight and proud spirit, and then we also have playfulness. I feel like you had amazing friends, to be honest. Maybe that is something that you do have in this current life, is that you have awesome friends, and it's important that you lean on them, you know? And that thing of the vulnerability, even if you're not looking for love, the vulnerability and opening your heart, it could be something as simple as opening your heart to friends, being vulnerable with friends, talking about your emotions, talking about what is going on in your life, maybe trying to focus, not necessarily like focus on them, but trying to focus on a different aspect of you when you're with them, than on a different aspect than when you're with yourself. Because in your normal life, especially in this past life, I feel like you were always pretty focused on career. Maybe that is you now. And even when you were with friends, it's like career was always a thing. And maybe that is still happening here right now. And so I feel like what your guides are asking you, it's like, open up a new side of you, open up a different side of you. When you're with them, leave career behind, leave that side of you behind, and try to find a side of you that is with this playfulness, this inner child side, this childish side that is dreamy and is fun and adventurous, because you were pretty adventurous. And try to let go. Try to let go of that career. Try to take your mind off of it. I feel like that was one of possibly your struggles, and that is something really simple that you can already do to break the cycle and to be a little bit more vulnerable and to open your heart a little bit more right now, okay? But I feel like when it came to your friendships here, love at first sight and proud spirit, I feel like they, I don't think with this love at first sight, it can usually be seen as like a friend from childhood or something. I don't think it was the case, but I feel like it was possibly like when you got out of your house, when you went on your own, possibly was one of the very first people that you met. And they could have been in a very similar situation. So it's like you really vibed together. And because even like the quote that it says here is like, when I saw you, I fell in love, and you smiled because you knew. And it's like you both really got each other. I feel like there was one person in particular. However, we do have Three of Pentacles here, so it could have been more than one person. But there is one person in particular that it's like you met them, and you were possibly, I don't know, I even get like these two little kids that are kind of stealing something because they have to eat, right? So they were like stealing an apple, and you were stealing an apple, and the other kid, this friend, was also like trying to steal an apple, and they saw you, and you kind of looked at each other, you're like, bro, I got you, you know? And so I feel like that just, it's like you just started to communicate with one another and to help one another. And I do feel like the trust was like a little bit shaky in the beginning, but it's like you both needed to trust someone, and you both felt the need to have someone in your lives. And so I feel like you eventually the friendship just started to grow, and I feel like it grew pretty fast. I feel like it grew pretty fast, and you built something amazing together. And I feel like that friend was with you until the end of your life, until the end of their life. I don't know who died first, but you were always there for one another, and it was incredible. It really was. So let's pull here some final cards around that struggle and accomplishment. So then we pull some advice. So around that struggle, we have, Ten of Swords and the Star. I feel like it's like you have the possibility to create more. And I feel like it's about relationships. There could have been a relationship that ended possibly where it was, I feel like it could have, if it wasn't toxic, I feel like it ended in a pretty bad way. And you can heal from it, and you can manifest something better, because you're a different person now. The person that fell for this toxic person is not you anymore. You were someone different at the time. And so I feel like one of your struggles here is to forgive yourself for putting yourself in situations that were not good for you. And I feel like in the past it was possibly related with family. Maybe there was something happening there in love as well, but I don't really see that. I feel like a lot of it came from family. And it's like you may have created this idea that you were hard to love. And so you had a little bit of a hard time with love. In this lifetime, I kind of feel like there could have been a relationship that was pretty toxic and ended pretty abruptly. Again, maybe you were cheated on, maybe something really tragic or bad happened, and I feel like it really hurt you. And I feel like you are trying to move on. I feel like for some of you, maybe you think that you have, but I feel like you never really opened up 100% about it, and there may be still a little bit of hurt, a little bit of pain there that, I mean, I feel like it's normal, but there is something there that is untapped. And I feel like it's not only about other people, like talking about that with other people. I feel like it's also about talking about that with yourself. So maybe a little bit of journaling would be really good. And again, I think of being vulnerable. Maybe be vulnerable with friends, and talk about that. But it is always going to be up to you, but don't feel forced to close your heart just because this thing in the past didn't work. Because you are actually manifesting something amazing that is actually pretty balanced, okay? Look at that. Your cycles are ending and you can actually let go of all of this confusion, let go of the entrapment. Maybe it was a very controlling person and you're able to create something much better that is a wish fulfillment and can grow into something lovely, okay? You have someone waiting out there for you, a soulmate that you are manifesting because you're aligning with them, okay? And I feel like the only thing stopping you from that person is this pain still being a little bit around, okay? That is not healed, all right? Let's pull here a card for that Eight of Cups, the accomplishments. Knight of Swords, yeah. It's like Queen of Pentacles. You really had a big eye for career, so whatever you feel called to do, please do it, especially when it comes to career, because you're going to get so much money from it and you're going to be pretty successful and keep walking, I feel like there was also this thing of like, you knew when not to give up and you knew when to give up, and that is still something that you have. So if you feel like your business, your career still has potential, then keep working on it. If you feel like it came to this point, if your career came to this point of like, well, I'm not happy here anymore, maybe there's someone else for me to go, then go somewhere else, okay? It's not about giving up. It's about just finding new options that align with you better, because we are constantly changing, so that is normal. And I also feel like it is talking about definitely that thing of you really being aligned with your path and you knowing that whatever struggle you go through is just part of it. It's just part of the process, So let's pull here some advice to finish this up. A win-win outcome is forecast. Confidence is your key to success. You got this. You really got this. And for some reason, I feel like this is about career. Let's see what else we have for my Virgo Libras. Don't let the past hold you back. Don't let the past life hold you back, okay? Don't let this past relationship hold you back, or your fears, even when it comes to career, okay? You are doing great, and I really feel like, it's time to take action. I really feel like you are good enough for love. You are good enough for money. You are good enough for your career. You have the skills, okay? And don't let pride get in your way. I feel like you may be a little bit stubborn. Me as a Virgo, I can confirm that. But I really feel that it's okay to let the past go. It's okay to imagine a new life, to imagine a new love, to imagine and to dream of a new type of love, of a new relationship, okay? And you are doing great. I really feel like you are. And you, like, whatever you're feeling right now, in terms of blessings, if you're doing pretty well in your career, that is just a little tip. There is so much more for you. So don't play small, because what you're seeing right now has blessing is just a fraction of what is there waiting for you. And I do feel like it is also about relationships, possibly even new friendships here. But open your heart up, okay? I feel like you're going to do great. So, Virgo Libra, this was actually pretty long. I was not expecting that. But yeah, I hope it resonated. I hope it helped. If it did, don't forget to smash the like button and to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, the link is going to be down below for a private reading. And I don't even know what I need to say. Goddamn. But that is it. So I wish you the very best. I love you very much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.